That's pretty crazy, though. So you're saying numbers get Dom excited? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of numbers.
He's a numbers man?
You know, it gets Dom.
Numbers and spreadsheets and
That's what I do all day, Jose.
yeah. Number 2 really gets him going.
Yes.
You know,
Curves.
you know what gets Dom excited? Static.
No,
Static
you know what
on
really
his
gets me
headset.
excited? What gets me excited is when 7, 8, 9.
10, 11, 12. Ladybugs at the Ladybug picnic.
8, 9. Yeah.
Oh, well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 56 of Breaking the Mold. I'm Harrican BX. Let's say what's up to the rest of the crew. We have a special guest hanging out with us tonight. You know what? I'll introduce him first. The one and only Dust Mites. How you doing?
Why
tonight?
not?
Yeah, yo. What's up, everybody? Feels good to be back on a Tuesday, man. This is weird.
Man.
Yeah.
This is odd. This is old stomping grounds. as they would say in the industry. I don't know what industry, but that's what they say. So, fellas, how are you?
Is that the winemaking industry?
Yes, I definitely feel like the odd man out here, man. I feel like I'm on like a fucking, I'm on a bad date. What? Awkward. Driving me to fucking drink.
I know you were debating coffee or beer, right?
Oh, it's no both.
Oh, you got it brewing.
Yeah, I got it brewing. Yeah. We going late tonight, boys. Got a case of Yingling right here. I'm on Tuesday, man. It's been a while.
I know. See, I don't know why you feeling the way you're feeling. You were hinting at it on the pre-show like that. I don't know. You maybe Brian Brink might be throwing some shade. What's going on, Brian? What's happening tonight?
Wow.
How you doing tonight, Brian?
Doing good.
I don't know.
Doing fine, I guess. I mean,
gasoline on the
Brian
fire.
doesn't have a bad day today.
It's Tuesday.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Are you feeling a certain way about us being on the show tonight?
How's your friendship holding up?
Everything's good.
Man, he's like 2 days in a row, and then he threw the. Then what's the topic tonight?
Yeah. No. You know what it is? We need an in-person recharge. Is what we need. It's been too long.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah,
meet up.
that's
Got
gonna
one
be
coming
coming up.
2 weeks.
Coming up soon. Nice, man. Well, how you doing, Brink? What's going on?
Hey, just living the dream. I don't know if you guys listened to the Four Dummies episode today, and Robert Detoff was making an analogy between himself and the leaf heap or the trash heap or whatever.
The trash heap from
Trash heap from
Fraggle
Fraggle
Rock.
Rock.
Yeah. You know what? I'm looking at these shelves. You guys haven't seen this in a long time. I feel like I'm living in a trash heap too. I got figures everywhere.
I
Down
thought
in
you were
Fraggle
going to say
Rock.
you had Frog. That's what I thought. You had some Fraggle Rock figures.
Oh no! Did they make those?
They probably did.
Probably do.
No, I didn't have cable. I didn't have cable as a kid, so I didn't Fraggle Rock.
Well, the thing is, wasn't Fraggle Rock
It was a PBS show.
Was it on PBS?
No,
Or was it on HBO? HBO,
it was
right?
HBO, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you had to even have the premium cable for that. Yeah,
No, it
totally
was,
didn't have that.
at that point, you only had HBO. Like, people used to just,
Yeah,
like,
it was just
the
HBO.
cable guy used to come. HBO is what they gave you, and that was that. It was one channel. You had the box, little box with some knobs on it, and a fucking stupid ass antenna you just put out the window, like a really weird antenna.
When I was a kid, the joke was, "Hey man, you get HBO?" I'd be like, "Yeah, but you got horrible body odor." Duh.
I don't even go even
I've
old
ever
school.
heard that.
With me, it was before HBO was WHT, a Homeko Home Theater or some shit was called or something like that. I couldn't afford. Our family couldn't afford it. I used to go to my buddy's house. He had the fucking antenna clipped onto the bars of the project windows. Dude's living in the projects and he's got fucking old school fucking cable movie channel. I'm like, man, priorities.
I only had
He's
HBO.
running around the house, no food in the fucking refrigerator, but they got fucking movies on Friday.
Yeah, I only had HBO on the weekends when I went to my dad's house. So I guess he had a good job back in the late 80s, early 90s.
I got lucky because my dad was like before he was a cop, he was an HBO repairman. Cable guy basically. So my mom worked in the office and he worked as a cable dude.
Yeah, the hookup.
Yep.
Oh, literally. See what you did there.
Nice. The cable hookup. Oh,
All right,
Wow,
Energon Addicts.
I'm not the only one tonight that's pun DMC.
What's going on, Pop? What's
I'm
happening?
good, man. Happy Tuesday, guys. Had a pretty decent weekend. Full of not much doing. I wasn't feeling that great, but come Monday, I had a nice surprise from IKEA, so I got a bunch of stuff in. So that got me ramped up and excited. I started putting some of that stuff together. Hopefully, by the end of the week, I'll be done.
Can I ask you a question? Well, what do you got your Detolfs on?
Bestas.
I have a Besta. What's that? A different Besta?
I think you have them on Calex, right?
No, I got the Besta.
mean-
I got the TV. I got the TV stand. But what are you using?
Oh, all right. So
Because it's a lot taller. I'm sorry, guys.
yeah,
I don't mean to just
Is
interject here. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, yours is different.
Yeah,
different
yours is
sizes.
way different.
There's different sizes.
yeah,
Different
so
sizes, yeah.
It's funny you say that because I'm doing a setup in the back with them too. So behind me, those are Bestas too. They just
Oh, it's a Besta cabinet.
Yeah, it's a frame.
yeah,
it's a
it's a
best
frame.
Oh,
frame.
see, I got the Besta TV stand. I didn't know about that because I would love to rise them up that high.
I have a Besta.
Yeah,
TV
it does.
stand,
It looks really good actually.
Yeah,
when
with the
Dave was
glass
putting them
doors on
together.
it.
Yeah, because they fit like not 1/6 scale. Like the turtles are fit down there. They look really. It actually looks really good in person.
Yeah, I can barely. I fit like a Takara box in it. So yeah, I definitely got to. I'm sorry, I definitely got to upgrade on that. Dave, we'll talk
Yeah, definitely.
because that looks fucking great.
Yeah, what Dave's set up there, I have 2 of those in my dining room. That's why I put my fucking like cans of soup in, my dishes, like my nice dishes, shit like that.
Kansas soup.
My nice dishes.
But,
Only the
I don't-
company comes over.
Kansas soup. What's
I don't-
Kansas soup?
Brian, the single dude with China.
I don't have
China cabinet.
That's right. I got the tea set with like the blue like Chinese like
You got one of those
Yeah,
Hummel
shit.
spoons hung on the wall.
Big
But,
fork, big spoon.
Yeah, Dave, I only have the glass on the top part though. On the bottom part, I just have a solid door. So yeah, it worked nice, man. There's no storage in this house for shit like that, so it's nice. But crock pots on the bottom, good stuff.
Yeah. I like the way Dave has it set up though with his detox because whatever he's using there, like you have shelves on the bottom and you can still put figures in there too, right?
Yeah.
Behind the glass.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's
those shelves are super big. And what do you buy
Yeah.
the glass separately to put on for doors?
So like each door individually is the thing is they get a little pricey. They're $45 a door.
And
Yeah. So
Mhm.
and then if you want to put a glass shelf on the inside, that's where you save because they're $5.
So the glass shelf is $5 for the
Inside, but the outside door which has the glass on,
Yeah.
$45.
So basically, it's like a extended detolf. You have like I have room underneath, but there's room for nothing in there. I just store boxes and shit like that. But that's incredible to display down there because then you could just do whatever you want down there.
Yeah, I'll give Dave credit too because in his room, when you see it like in person, they raise up the detox so high to the ceiling,
At
it
the
almost
bottom.
looks like a built. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like a built-in, and then your bottom detox shelf actually
It shines.
you
It
can display
shines.
something. Yep, exactly. But you're not tempted to put miscellaneous crap on the top. It looks really good because
That's
what do you have, Dave? Like an inch between the ceiling.
About
It's
an
like-
inch and a half. More.
Yeah, it's like
We're
really
not
close.
talking your pants. We're talking about your detox.
Hey, little guy, they're not talking about you now. I'm just kidding.
All right, this story's bullshit already.
Nah, the nice thing about that is everything's up high though. Like, see, when I first started putting up these shelves, I was like putting stuff in the group, asking like, "Who's your bottom shelf bitches?" Because you can't fucking see shit down there.
Yeah. When you put it on the floor, it's like
Yeah.
god awful. And I know the Kalexes were a little taller, but I couldn't get one wide enough to fit the 4 that I got. So I went with the Besta because it had the length or the width to say. And I didn't know anything about those other
the
Besta.
chicks like to call it girth.
Well, that's the other way. Yeah. In my Tinder profile, I said I am not Girth Brooks. Girth Brooks. But it's I like that a lot because it brings it up a lot higher, man.
I know exactly.
I know. I just totally sidebarred this, and I'm sorry, guys.
This is what we do. This is what we do.
We do.
The glass really caught my eye.
You could do the glass on those too. just so you know.
I like the height. I want that bottom shelf to be here because I feel like the bottom shelf is just like it's there and it's kind of like it's only like a fucking 1.25 feet off the fucking floor and it just and I'm wasting all that fucking room up there with those stupid boxes, man. Yeah, that's definitely what how many can you fit? How many D12s can you fit on each unit?
So on each, that's just it, because it's like an odd thing. So I have
real quick.
I have 7 up.
Don't bust out the
total
count.
All right. So, but what I'm trying to tell you is I'm gonna have 8 total, and you need 3 of the best double units to fit underneath that.
Okay, so they come in double units, like two squares.
So
right, but you couldn't fit 3 on one of those things. Each one is going to have like a half of a
it's going to be okay. So I plan on going across the whole room. So I'm looking about getting another 3 or 4 in here. So if I get another 3, I could probably do that with 2, 4.
You need 3.
3 cubes. 3
doubles. Yeah, you need 3
doubles. That'll work.
I gotta say it. Dave has $5,000 in display stuff for his toys and a $6 chair from the yard.
Yo, man, you gotta prioritize. It's like my buddy back home that had fucking roaches and fucking no furniture and no food in his fucking refrigerator. Everybody had WHT on fucking Tuesday nights,
Yo, Gary's trying to combat you tonight.
Yeah, and Dom's working on the room. The first thing he's going to do is take care of the chair, right, Dom?
Chair's right on top of the list. Massage chair too. It's like delicate fingers.
Yeah, I definitely think it's definitely a time to change it. I mean, I got that fucking corner there that's like a stock room, but I want to continue across with Detolfs over there. But every time I come in here, I'm just really like not depressed, but I'm just like, man, I wish it was taller up because those bottom shelves, and that's fucking great. Just send me some pics of that, all right?
Sure.
Like a dead on like look for me. So yeah, how much of the best of cubes? The 2 cubes.
They're not that expensive. I want to say they're about $60
each one.
With the frame is like 90, right?
Well, the tall frame,
tall frame is 90.
The 3-tier one is 90.
Oh, so they make a 3 one.
They make a 3 one. So if you were to buy a 3 one, it'd be called the TV stand as well, but it's a different size than the one you got. You know what I'm saying?
Like totally different. It looks totally different, man.
And that's 109, I believe, for that. And that one, I think you could fit what you could definitely fit 4 on that already.
Huh.
I think the Sunday of ZoloCon, we should probably all go to IKEA.
You could fit 4 of the Detolfs on one TV
of the 3 of the 3.
Yeah,
but you know what? I think I would like to break it up in 2s because I would feel like it's a little more sturdier. You know what I mean? You're putting the 2 together, and you have that one middle that has the double. You get what I'm saying? It has like a double reinforcement in it. You know, right. I'm always afraid I'm going to wake up in the morning. This fucking thing's going to be on because the TV stand didn't hold it. You know, I'm sure that's everybody's fucking nightmare. But thanks, Dave. Thank you.
No,
we can go back to intros. I'm sorry.
No problem. Everybody's favorite pigment surgeon, JD. What's going on, man?
Hi.
How you doing? Hello.
I'm doing good.
How are you? Did you go to work? Or you took a snow day?
Yeah. For like 2 hours. And then I came home.
You ain't anybody up?
Nope.
So it was a waste of time and gas.
Well, I never schedule anything Tuesdays. That's like my bullshit day.
No.
So
do you usually get walk-ins or anything like that? I mean, obviously, weather.
You know, I mean, we do, but it's like on a rare occasion. Our shop is more of a destination. We're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So
you guys need you need a bar next to your place. People get all liquored up.
You don't want that.
There's 2 of them.
You don't want that, right? Because the blood is too thin. You bleed more.
Yeah.
Is that like?
I mean, if you're like completely trashed, yeah. I mean, it's kind of. I don't mind if somebody goes over to have like a beer and a shot, and then they come over. You know
take
what I mean?
The edge off.
Just kind of loosen up. That's fine. I don't give a shit. But like,
dude, give me a shark eating a fucking rocket chair, man.
Yeah. People coming in there all trashed.
Yeah.
But we get them though. We get them though too. A lot of fucking crackheads that come in there too. It's fucking weird.
Oh man.
Jeez.
You get paid in crack?
Everybody gets
quiet.
It's like they say crackheads. Everyone's like, oh man, yeah. Oh.
Plastic.
Yeah,
crack.
everybody got quiet. Ugh, crackheads.
So yeah, this happened too.
That's why he was wearing his hoodie.
I gotta see
But
this.
he was up.
Whoa,
no.
you gotta highlight his fucking camera, man.
Yep.
Good grief.
Yep.
Did the beard go? Did you shave down the beard? Oh,
I just
He did.
You
He
trimmed
shaved
it up?
nice.
Yeah,
He
you
shaved
trimmed
it
it out.
down.
Yeah.
He shaved it
Yeah.
down.
what you got?
Wow.
What do you got? Like a wedding to go to or a party to go to? What's going on?
No more.
Chan
You
was
have
I was
to,
getting
complaining.
a
you have
little
to come out of the cave, Captain Caveman?
Yeah,
Chan-
that's
Chan-
all nice and shiny right there.
Yeah, it's like,
Chan-
wow.
Chan was complaining. She's like, it itches. It itches.
Nope. She never complained.
Dude, did you? You can sell that shit for like wigs and stuff. Did you save any of your locks or?
It's in a bag in the
Yeah.
trash.
Oh God.
My dog tried to eat it.
Wait, who's gonna be my Obi-Wan now?
So
Dude,
is
we
this
gotta
gonna
go
be
back.
like the main look from now
We
on?
got- yeah,
Probably,
we gotta go back and when Jose revealed his new hairstyle. I think it's about the same time.
Yep.
Yeah,
a
two
year
down.
ago. A
Two
year
down
ago.
now.
Mhm.
Well,
Two
it's
down on BTM. Let's see who's next.
When,
If all you guys do this, you're
Join the
gonna be
club.
like fucking podcasting Onyx. Bald head, you know?
I think when JD first started with us, didn't you shave your head?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had. short
Yeah, it
hair.
wasn't until I had my heart attack. till I
Throw your
let my
toy in the air
hair grow in.
and wave it like you just don't care.
Yep. Nice, man. Good shit. Looking good over there.
Thanks.
That's a big change, dude. That's a look that you used to have back in the day?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Did you always have your hair? Did you have your hair that
Yeah,
short?
Yeah,
that
it's
was-
very short.
That's a
Yeah,
lot.
it's very short
That's
ones
a
couple
lot of beers ago. That's a lot of
No,
beers ago.
no, I kind of always remember him not with hair like he had, but I don't recall him with no hair.
Yeah, it wasn't until like all my hospital shit, like the heart attack. It
Mhm.
wasn't till then till I let my hair grow in. Because I never did. And then I was just like, I'm just gonna neglect
Yep.
my hair. So
YOLO.
yeah.
Hey man, as long as you can grow it, man, you might as well do it. That's what I said. I used to cut my hair real short too, and I'm like, what am I doing that for? I got hair.
You got that good hair. You can have those long locks.
That
That's
mane, the golden.
exactly.
But
Samson.
I got some shit you could condition.
Well, that's the get up and go. I mean, when we shave our heads, it's no problem. You just fucking
No
get up and
maintenance.
go. You know,
I
don't
missed
have
that.
to worry about it.
Right out the door.
The only thing is you guys gotta, if you're gonna maintain it yourself every 2 or 3 days, you gotta take the fucking bic to it. So it is what it is.
You don't want that horseshoe pattern showing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. JD, I hate
I
to
just
say
use
that.
the clippers.
Hate
What?
to say this, but the polar vortex is coming around here in a couple days, so it's gonna be cold for you.
That's all right. I got my round beanie. I'm good.
All right.
Doesn't it feel like? I remember when I used to shave my hair like that. It just felt like freedom. Like wow, I could just move my hair around. It just always was a good feeling when you cut your hair like that.
Yeah. I'm glad I actually don't have to fucking go to the barber every week like a certain person on this panel.
Talking about me?
He goes three times a week.
I said fucking nothing. I said nothing. I mean, you
Yo,
out
he
yourself, you
goes to the
fucking
barber
fuck
3
yourself.
times a week. He's like, yo, Domingo, I'll be there at 20.
I've
Yo,
been
but
getting better. It's like every 2 weeks now. I'm not that bad.
All right, Dave, that's like my cousin though. Like my cousin, same shit every fucking week. I'm like, dude, you're dropping fucking 80, fucking 100 in haircuts. All right.
Fuck that, man. I haven't paid for a
I do
fucking haircut
shit
since I was,
myself.
like teenage.
What Dave didn't tell you, he's just doing his manicure and pedicure every other week. So
Damn, bro, you guys just divulging all my fucking dirties laundry today, bro. 2 days.
Satin finish.
Damn.
Please tell me you at least go with the satin finish.
yeah,
I haven't gotten-
check Dave's cuticles, man. He's all nice and
fucking
clean.
get my nails done. That's fucking
Adam Toes looking. You always let them shit slack in the
It's
winter.
funny you say that. I gotta cut them shits. I got a pool party this weekend for my kid. My kid got invited to a pool party.
an
Gotta
indoor
fucking
pool
go
party?
in the- Yeah, I gotta go
Say
in
an
the
ice
pool.
rink party, you mean?
Yeah.
Polar plunge? Dude, also too, you guys cutting your hair off in the summer, you gotta bring that sunblock with you. I remember when we went to Brooklyn up there last year in the spring. Chris is like, we got to stop in someplace and get some sunblocks. My head's on fire. He forgot his
I'm
Well, he's a lot
another
closer
one.
to the sun than we are, you know.
By a couple of feet, yeah.
I try not
All
to
right,
go
G
outside
Money,
in
what's
the
going
summer.
on?
What's up, man? It's good to see you guys again. Sorry, I ended up missing last week.
Yo, G, are you gonna pull off your hoodie and have no hair?
I have nothing to reveal.
He's got frosted tips.
I've got nothing. I'm bringing back. I'm going to bring back the Zach Morris look. You know, that's my plan.
Gotcha.
That's my plan.
You guys are looking like a boy band every week. more like a boy band.
So what's up, G? What's going on?
Nothing. Happening? It's snowing some more again. I just have to accept it's going to be like that till May, I think. So that's fine.
Yeah, well, around that area, man, you're going to get that lake effect snow and all that other bullshit. And
dude, yeah, it's been I think we got like 6 inches again. So it is what it is. I had a interesting Sunday though.
My Tinder date said.
Yeah, most females won't complain, you know. That's about average.
It is what it is.
It's better than average, I think.
Oh God, man, I gotta get off this tonight.
Yeah, I had it. I said, I was like, yo, here's 2. I owe you 4.
Wow.
Good night, folks.
Pretty good.
And I owe you under the pillow.
I promise next time.
Next time.
Oh man. All right, and Big Dom, what's happening?
Good. I had a good weekend. But Gary was going to tell us what happened Sunday with you, Gary. Come on, I heard.
Oh, I got sidetracked with the the inch jokes. No, so we had a charitable, kind of team building event for my company. It was a food bank. It was the first time I'd ever gone and done that, where they do a lot of sorting for donations. And this isn't a food bank that like does individual families. They put like boxes together and give it to other organizations. So you're really sorting through pallets and pallets and pallets. And Dust, you could probably appreciate some of this. It's like, it looked like the freaking Raiders of the Lost Ark at the end of the movie, where it's just there, right? Like these just warehouse, like gigantic, and it's food, and you're sorting through it, and you're helping out, and then part of it is sorting it by dates, and eliminating anything that isn't able to be reused. Then the other part is like sorting the items for the boxes. All right. And it was just funny because I'm there with probably like 10 associates, giving up their time, and my company makes like a cash donation for the hours you put in. But these administrators are like yelling at the volunteers, you can't put oatmeal with cereal and granola is separate. And like, it was just, I don't know, it was kind of surreal. I was like, wow, if you guys really want people to come back, you might want to stop yelling at them.
They're volunteering their time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're not getting paid for their time, correct?
No, none of my associates. Nope, not at all. It's all.
Oh, what the fuck?
I know, right? It was just funny because, they don't really tell you much. So we're like, okay, there's like 10 of us here. What do you need us to do? And again, you're trying to. They organize it by style. So when the other group, I guess says, hey, we need this many pounds of this type of stuff, right? So it makes sense, but it was just kind of funny. I looked at one of my other managers that was there with me. I'm like, did he just like really yell at everybody for helping and mixing up the granola and the cereal? I'm like,
you guys mess it up. They got to go back and redo it all.
Yeah, well,
Hey, I've done it, man, and it's not that hard. I mean,
yell at somebody for something like that.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it was good. It was nice to do. It was my first time, kind of doing that type of event, so it was very interesting to see.
I thought it was funny, Gary. Sorry to interrupt you, but when you were talking about the expiration dates, they're like, yeah, sure, it says that, but then they give you the sheet of paper. It's like, here's how long it really lasts.
No, you're right, Brian. That's true, though, right? That's really it. They're like, okay, here's these items can go 6 months past the sell-by date.
That's their sell-by date. That's
exactly right.
Date.
Yeah.
You buy a milk.
But I will
buy a milk today. Today's the sellout date. You could drink it for 3-4 more days. Then you got sour cream.
Then
you can throw it. Then you can throw it on a taco. You got some sour cream.
Let us use some other foods that are fucking. Let us use some sutures that are fucking 3 or 4 days out of date. Not good.
Drink milk with a spoon.
You tell me you can't put a wooden fucking stick down someone's throat if it's like 2 days after it's past due date on it.
Not unless you want to get sued.
Well, yeah, that, of course, there's those things. We don't have to talk about that. But you can actually use a wooden stick after that. That's wrapped.
Oh man! All right, so Dom, what's up, man? What's going on?
It was good. I had a good weekend. Ended up going to Brooklyn, hanging out with my sister-in-law and my niece. So we enjoyed.
You were in Brooklyn, so that's about fucking. So there's only one borough in between us, and I don't get a fucking phone call. The fuck?
Yeah, but I have to go up the PQE, and I don't like that shit. Like, that's just a horrible road to drive.
Nobody wants to go to the Bronx. Nobody wants to go to the Bronx.
Damn, son. Damn. I would have came to see you, but okay.
Yeah, it was kind of spontaneous. They weren't doing anything. We weren't doing anything, so we ended up going and hanging out.
Fucking Dom's 5 miles away from me and fucking doesn't even fucking.
Dude, come on! You don't front. You gotta admit, 5 miles in the borough.
5 miles.
It's like 3 hours.
You might as well be in fucking Idaho.
Yeah. you can get the Ohio quicker than you can from here than you can through the boroughs.
Yeah, if Dom was trying to drive, it'd be a bitch. I would have took the subway though.
Dude, there was times like when I lived in Brooklyn, we would drive to the studio in Manhattan. It would be like a fucking. It was like a 3-hour tour. I felt like I was with the skipper and fucking the rest. You're like, wow. Just to get 45 minutes, we would have been there by fucking train. But
listen, Gary drives down from Albany. He hits a dude up. We fucking have dinner in Queens. I'm just saying, Just saying.
What was this?
Just saying.
Everybody got a little bit of salt.
Oh, that's right. That's Albany. Albany is 6th borough. I'm sorry. Totally it's around the corner.
Dude, I might as well be in freaking Wisconsin. It's like
you're in Montana, boy. You're in Montana.
Doesn't feel any closer.
Hey, did you ever hit up Intex to see how far you were from him? I know he's like towards the Buffalo area.
Yeah, Buffalo. That's shit.
It's far. Yeah, but
I don't know. I mean,
it's like another 3.5 4 hours away.
Yeah,
New York is
it's west.
State. Yeah,
also,
he's closer. He's closer to like Syracuse than Buffalo.
Yeah.
The fuck do I know? I don't go upstate.
Exactly. Nobody does.
The furthest upstate we used to go to was Middletown, New York. Yeah, I'm up there in Middletown.
Unfortunately, Gary's the only one in Albany right now.
I keep telling myself it's the state capital. It's like the state capital. Yeah, it's like the same thing. It's like, the capital of Illinois is Springfield, but nobody cares. Everybody wants Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm. But Sunday I just cleaned up, trying to get ready. Moving things around. Actually took it early. Just seeing what I can get on the tables for NJCC. So.
Nice.
A couple months from now, man.
Yeah, I know. So it's just
killing
2 birds with one stone, and just cleaning up the room, trying to get the shit out.
He's getting ready for that first quarter fiscal year.
Yep.
Dude. I already started, man. So.
I'm actually really excited. I'm curious to see what Dom brings as he's adjusting his collection versus like the merchandise that he buys specifically to sell.
Yeah. Like there's a couple things that I probably will let go of and see what happens. But like NJCC is a whole different monster. Like I wish there was a TF Con near, like another one like in Maryland. I can bring a lot of Transformers stuff. That particular convention is more for Transformer collectors.
NJCC is taking a little bit of a turn. It's maturing. Can we say it's maturing?
It is definitely.
Or is that like putting down Transformer fans? It's not maturing. It's just
you get a wide range of collectors coming there. They're not just for Transformers.
Its next cycle, to say its next phase.
Yeah, and but that's to your point. Like with NJCC, like it was very big on like old school GI Joe Transformers, but now you're seeing a lot of the more modern stuff there, which you didn't see a lot.
No. Ever since we started coming there, and we brought in a new element. I believe when we first started going there was a lot of old school garbage, which you always get, like the 90s toys and stuff like that. You had some old school G1 guys, a lot of wrestling stuff when that Grimm toy show was in there with his buddies. It's kind of like we pushed him out and we came in. You know what I mean? The realm came in. But what was cool about when we first started going there, it's like, and promoting on Instagram and stuff like that, then you started getting like, what was the one company that was coming in there? Oh, fuck, I can't remember his name. Luna Toys was coming in.
Yes.
Third party. And then you had a lot of guys bringing their third-party masterpiece stuff. And then it just was weird. It just seemed like a trend just changed over. I'm not saying it was a full-blown Transformers fucking convention, but you started seeing more of the stuff that we wanted. You know, this is before we were selling. And I think once we got our foot in the door, we kind of, I'm not saying we personally changed the way the boat was going, the course of the boat, but I'm trying to use different analogies, but I think we definitely had some sort of impact or influence on what people are bringing nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and speaking of change, you know, and stuff like that, we've seen a lot of that, like within our collecting, and the variations in these lines that we collect, like Takara Tomy, like JD. We've been trying to get to this topic for the past couple of weeks, and he kind of threw it out there. You know, almost that question of like, why can't companies stay consistent, like in the products that they're releasing, you know? And we could use Takara Tomy as an example. You know, they've been putting out masterpiece figures for years now. And, you know, JD brought up a point that they're kind of dabbling now in different variations of the masterpiece line. We got Beast Wars. Now we're getting movie masterpiece, but a lot of the G1 fans that kind of went in on that line are expecting to kind of complete their characters and are hoping for Takara to release certain characters. We're not getting that, obviously, and now we're kind of seeing that they're kind of changing the aesthetic and the way these toys are coming out and the way they look, you know. So it's kind of causing a divide, people that kind of collected the old style masterpiece compared to the new ones. And it's almost like again, the question, why can't companies just stay consistent in what they're releasing? Now we have no control over that.
It's not only that, though.
Yeah, I know. But you brought up the question of like, are you willing to replace everything that's in your collection now if a company decided to just kind of dig their heels in, promise to release all the characters you want and keep the aesthetic consistent? But what was the other point you wanted to bring out also?
Across all of the different companies, everybody has their own, you know, Fans Toys painted to the nines, and you know, your DX9 stuff doesn't have any paint on it. You know, they go for certain aesthetic cues. You know, like some of them, they're doing their own thing. Some of them want to keep it cartoon. You know, there's so many different aesthetics throughout all the different companies, and nobody out of all these companies are trying to complete. They're just, so I understand that third-party companies came along just to fill the gaps that we weren't getting with Takara. But now that Takara has like completely changed the way that you know, they're trying to go all tune and all that stuff now, it's kind of taken a whole nother ball game into a different stadium. You know what I mean? With the way a toy looks from company to company.
Yeah. Well, all right. So let's just real quick before we get deeper into discussion. If you're talking about a purely like a masterpiece aesthetic, I think we could all agree that the only third-party companies that are kind of like in that game are Fans Toys and probably X-Transbots. Would you include DX9 in that? Because they seem to kind of.
Yeah, I would. So DX9 really didn't have too many bad releases. They had some really good stuff.
I'd say that you got to throw Make Toys in there too.
Yeah, the Seekers.
Yeah. Seekers and Despotron, but
JD, sorry,
but the way the aesthetic of the way the figures look, I think Fans Toys are the ones that come closest to what Takara was kind of consistently putting out before they went to this Toon aesthetic.
Let me ask you, when you're talking about this, are you talking about a company that's staying consistent? Like, this is how they started. They were killing it with this, and then all of a sudden they saw a trend where other companies were doing something different, so they got into that other lane and changed also.
Here's
what we're talking about here.
Well, hold on, now you turn around and look at your shelves, and you look at all the different aesthetics.
Yeah, it's
company to company. You have 15 different companies there. They're all different.
At one time, everybody was trying to go one way, then Takara changed it up, and everybody shifted gears to go follow that way. But then you have some companies that are still going their own way, and then you get your stylized companies. I think there's enough for everybody. And now with the legends in there, forget about it. It's
but nothing like from company to company, nobody's going to complete anything.
Oh no,
they're still trying to fill holes.
Yeah.
So that cliff jumper, whichever cliff jumper you go with, out of the 3 that have been released,
they all suck.
Yeah, exactly.
On all different levels. Well, this one looks like this. This one, they're all. But
the Toro is probably the closest as far as that aesthetic to getting what you're already used to as far as that masterpiece look.
You said closest, Jose, right? So when JD posed that question, I actually really got me thinking, and I think it's another example of evolutions in collecting where 3 or 4 years ago, you were excited to get Braun, right, from Bad Cube, right? Because you're like, I'll probably never get that from anyone else. So if someone made it, you're like excited. Boom, there it is on the shelf. And
what about the eye gear one? Go back even further, the eye gear one.
But how many people?
I thought that was the best thing in the world.
How many people, right, have said over and over, "Oh, it does its job. It stands there. It looks the part. That's what it's going to do." And then you kind of evolve and you go back and look at it, and it's like just filling the part isn't enough.
I used to say it all the time, like, we're settling. Hashtag
yeah, exactly.
How long are we going to settle? So the whole thing that brought me to this is, of course, looking at my collection and seeing how from piece to piece, nothing matches. Nothing looks like it's the same. Magic Square, not to bring them up again, it's kind of like the Mythic Legions, but Magic Square posted a picture of their legends, and it was, aside from what they had released already, which would be the Inferno and Hoist, or Grapple, not Hoist. They released a picture, and it was like the silhouettes of the G1 cast.
What to come?
What's to come?
Yeah.
They're gonna fill that whole line. I'm sure they're gonna jump around here and there.
Yeah, but it's gonna be all the same aesthetic.
It's all gonna be the same aesthetic. And I'm wondering if they turn around and do the same thing with the Masterpiece line. They started with Optimus Prime. You know what I mean? It just got me thinking.
Yeah. I think to get back to your original question, JD, I think from a company's perspective, and you got to remember also with third party, the traditional third party company was a fill-in for Official. So Official was the benchmark. It was basically what everybody was going after. And when Takara made that change and went from more of an accurate, realistic type transformer to a Toon, more to Toon, I think they might have done that to throw off third party so they could can start the wheel all over again. And companies like third parties have to probably differentiate themselves. So sometimes you can ask that they have the intentions to completing lines, but maybe they feel that hey, I now this is where the market's going. This is what the majority of consumers are looking for. Maybe I have to change and look, do something different. And unfortunately, those changes tend to affect other collectors that are looking for one specific look. And unfortunately, it affects you as a collector if you're looking for that more realistic look, or you're not, or something else. I
just want them to be all the same. I'm tired of looking at. I'm tired of looking at 10 different.
But I think right now with Magic Square, the game has changed to the point where third parties don't have to follow official. I don't think they need to follow it anymore. They don't need to use it as a benchmark. They could be comfortable in building their market base with a promise or with a look that they think is right and that they have a market for, and push it out there. And I think Magic Square is going to do that. I think they're going to be the first ones to say, hey, we're going to go with this look. We're going to complete all the figures for you, and this is what it's going to be, and see how it works for them. And if it works well, I think they might just do a masterpiece line with that.
So you're talking Legends, Don, right?
Yeah, Legends. Yeah.
Oh, but we only have the one so far for MP.
But I thought even if you were gonna take that example from Magic Square and move it over to what they're gonna do, maybe potentially with the masterpiece line, then that means you as a consumer have to be okay. And this is a question we brought up on the show before. You have to be okay with that. Are you going to replace your entire collection? Are you going to go in again on these characters? Because Takara have already released them in a certain aesthetic, and you want a company to maybe continue down that line, but now it's not happening. So are you going to be content with, okay, let's go in all over again without any kind of real guarantee that they're going to give you all the characters you want? Because again, we have to be realistic. There's hundreds of characters. If we're talking about Transformers, hundreds of characters. There's no way we're going to get everybody.
Exactly. But you can't, it's not fair to say, all those other third parties that been in the beginning have went through all the bumps and bruises, went all through the changes that have happened. And unfortunately, they have, official has been the benchmark and things have changed there. So it's never been consistent anywhere like that in the Transformers community.
I mean, nobody is determined that that's the benchmark except for them. Well, they're the ones changing this and that every time.
Are we talking about Takara?
Somebody gets onto them. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that's just new. It's only with between the past year and a half, or
probably like year they started going with the student aesthetic, and I don't think we've seen third party really going that route all the way yet.
It's been. I mean, dabbling. You could say it kind of started with Ironhide and Ratchet, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the real big one was Inferno and Grapple. That was the one that really set the stage. Like, this is what we're doing now.
I hear what you guys are saying, right? But like for me, it's like, look, you got all these, especially Transformers collectors, right? You got a million opinions out there, right? Mm-hmm. So you got people who like the toon look. You got people who were okay with the aesthetic prior to that it looked, a little more toy than it did anything else. When Masterpiece first came out. But it's all on you. Like, you know what I mean? Like these companies, Magic Square could come out and say we're gonna make the fucking original, the whole ARC squad, the whole G1 squad. Let's say they'll start making bad guys too, Masterpiece bad guys. But it's up to you if you want to replace them, because you're gonna have the same kind of collector who's like, well, that's not official. I'm not gonna collect it.
That's
I know what I mean. I'm not
different camps. There's totally different.
And you got the people who just want a representation of that character, and they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Magic Square's gonna do them all, and they're gonna be cheaper than anyone else. I'm gonna buy it.
You got I want close to tune, but I want more detailed. I want more modern. I want more of a stylized look. And so there is a lot of different type of collectors.
And that's a good. I mean, Gary, sorry, but you brought up a good point, Dave. Like, if somebody wants like the official, only the official product, you're gonna have to take what they give you and then be okay with the fact that you're not gonna get everybody.
Yeah, because your collection's it's not gonna look uniform.
And you also can't get mad at them either, because you can't call something a masterpiece that came out 10 years ago. That's coming out in today's market. Like, you gotta evolve, you gotta grow.
I was just gonna say every company evolves. I was gonna say there's an evolution.
I mean, it says it on the box still.
Yeah, but Dave, the only disagreement I have there is they're changing the aesthetic. That's not an evolution. They made a change. Like, we're not gonna make them look like that.
So when they change,
it says to me they don't know what they're doing.
I think they know what they're doing. You gotta remember, JD, they're looking to make money.
Right.
They're not looking to great.
Listen,
if they can
less chrome, less parts, and less sculpting.
Yeah, but they're trying to keep them. They're trying to put a product out there that they think they can sell the units that they need to sell. And sometimes they might change the aesthetic because they feel like it's going to do that, and we just, we as consumers, and with Transformers, as a Transformers base, there's such a variety. There's no set standard in what Optimus looks like.
I look at it like this. So when I don't know, maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth, JD, but I totally agree with him, where I think he's just looking at his collection and realizing the past is the past, and this isn't exactly what I want to look at anymore. Mm-hmm. And if he can't get what he wants, maybe he'll look at other things or other lines that do it. If you compare this to other industries, right, there's a reason why Camrys and Accords looked very similar and didn't change much from year to year for like 10 or 12 or 15 years, because those manufacturers were it was risky to make a move because you could lose consumers, right? They had a very reliable base. So if people are buying Masterpiece or, an official label of anything, that's only going to carry so far. But if they do make a change, they risk, losing their current customer base by trying to attract new ones. So
you mean like what he said about the box, about the name being saying Masterpiece on it?
Correct.
Is that what you mean?
Exactly. And some people are going to buy a Toyota because it's a Toyota, right? But if you stylize, the most mainstream Toyota Camry, then you may alienate your buyers that have been loyal to you for, 10 to 15 years is my point.
Yeah, but there's going to be a certain segment of that fucking audience that's going to buy the official no matter what, because it has that Transformers branding on the box. That goes a long way.
I'm one of those idiots. I'm one of those idiots almost myself,
But it's also this, right? So you guys are saying, okay, they changed, like Brian said before, but they changed the aesthetic, right? They changed the look. They did. But did you complain when they changed the Megatron that we got today to the first Megatron that came out, that piece of fucking junk that fucking chicken legs, or I know you guys love your first Prime, but is that the Prime that fits with the rest of your toys?
Not now.
But when they did P10, everybody's like, oh shit, it's the best thing in the world, and now it's a fucking relic. All these toys are gonna be relics, and we can't complain that they're changing aesthetics. We're the ones asking for it.
Josh said cosmetic differences are not an evolution.
Well, no, but they are. They are evolving.
Stop using your mic, JD.
We're getting better articulation. You know what I'm saying? The engineering is getting more like involved. Like this shit, it's not the same shit that we're getting from 10 years ago. You might have an opinion on that or not, but like in a way, it is getting better. It's getting more expensive.
When was the last time you picked up your Sideswipe? Your Lambor mold?
Oh man, yesterday.
Yeah, it's like my favorite. It's good, but
it's dated.
I gave it to my kid.
It's tough.
That's a chug now.
It's tough. It really is. It's really tough, man.
Nah, man, it's great.
I gave it to my 2-year-old and replaced it with the bag cube one because it looks better.
I feel like there's too many chefs in the kitchen with regards to third-party official and everything. Right. There's a lot of
Dom, I agree too.
Yes, there's a lot of companies in this market. Unlike any other market out there, there's a lot of companies in this market, and they're going to be pushing out what they think you like. And unfortunately, there's going to be just based on hype and based on who's got this, who's got that.
The flavor of the month. The flavor of the month.
People are going to pick.
Let me pose this question. I'll pose this question to the group. So as your buying habits evolve, for yourself, or change or adapt based on your interests, when do you decide that you're not going to settle and you would rather go without versus buying something that doesn't do everything you want it to do?
I do that now. I never bought a Trailbreaker. I never bought a few characters.
Okay,
I'm like,
that's good.
I haven't been going all in, and I've been selling shit.
You should have got
it's like I'm almost like 1 foot out.
When this Fans Toy shit never comes out, you're gonna be like, he's the only one.
Yeah, I think, boys. Yeah, I just think that we all have to be okay. Like, and JD, it's a valid question. But as things evolve, like these things don't come out fast enough for us to get, considering the volume of characters in these series, these toys don't come out fast enough for us to be able to complete. Just too many characters. They're only going to put out so many characters per year. And then within let's say every 5 years, the aesthetic could possibly change compared to what's going on at that time. Technology is going to improve. People might want a different look. And then they're just going to fucking rehash the same characters.
And dude, you get another generation that's collecting.
How could you want a new look?
They get older and they have that extra money.
How could you have a new look if you haven't completed the existing look?
Got that WHT.
What the fuck's wrong with you people? and I'll say, I'm looking at my masterpiece shelf, and JD, I'm glad I don't have your problem, because Takara, Grapple, and Inferno don't exist on my shelf. MP.56 doesn't exist on my shelf. The Masterpiece Shockwave doesn't exist on my shelf. And my Autobots are all third-party stuff that is a mature, realistic look.
But Brian,
and it works.
And
but Brian, that was you.
Companies that are giving it to you, though.
That was you,
though,
Brian.
Giving it to you.
That was
yeah,
you,
but that's
Brian.
what I'm saying. It's like
you stuck to your look. You stuck to what you wanted and what you wanted your collection to look like. And you went with the companies that were providing that realistic.
And you have that option. Look. So there you go. Everybody has their option.
And that's
are you getting the same volume as other companies? Probably not. But you do have options.
But I feel sorry for those guys that are like pure official and are always going with the official, because those are the ones that are fulfilling this argument here.
I don't.
And they're missing out. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, they are missing out.
Yeah, exactly. They're missing out.
Yeah,
they really are missing out on a lot of good toys.
Yeah, I don't feel bad, and I don't agree with that, Brian. They're not the ones fulfilling this argument.
I mean, my Toro Jazz fits in great with my Lambo brothers.
Hey, so I'm all for the third party community. You know what I mean? I'm all for the options that we have. I'm just saying I'm starting to have a problem with my collection looking different from bot to bot.
Like a quilt, like a patch quilt,
pretty much.
Well, so far, what do you think?
Look at my Storm collectibles; they all look the fucking same.
They're all consistent.
Storm Collectibles is one company. It's Storm Collectibles.
Exactly.
You have Takara, you have Make Toys, you have Fans Toys, DX9, X-Transbots, KFC.
But then
Takara can't do it.
And
why can't another company do it?
Right. Well, that's JD's argument.
Same as Takara.
Yeah, and the other companies are trying to come in and step up, but probably Fans Toys is the only company that's giving you the aesthetic that's closest to what Takara was giving you in the main.
I love this discussion, by the way. This is awesome.
And Fans Toys has stayed true to themselves. I'd say a lot of these third parties have. I mean, X-Transbots, their only improvement is that they're making better toys now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're sticking to their old aesthetic.
Sculpt and engineering was really not that bad. It's just they just were lacking in materials and
And Make Toys Remaster series, I mean, the Headmasters, Jazz, I mean, they started going for that tune look probably before Takara did, maybe.
But you could tell the differences in those aesthetics. I feel like Fans Toys worked real hard to mimic that Takara Tomy look. Yeah. You could put a Fans Toys next to a regular master.
I agree with Jose.
And it looks like it could have came from Takara.
Well, the old school masterpiece. Old school before they went super tune. Yeah. Fans Toys was definitely like that next step up to keep that toy tune balance next to Takara.
And that was their goal, because they said they love the Masterpiece line and they want to contribute.
Better materials, better detailing, and better engineering.
But
I'm sorry, Dom. I know you.
No.
Dom's been trying to crowbar in here.
I agree. Fans Toys has been consistent in what they're putting out, but the thing is that they were basically filling the gaps that the official wasn't giving us. So basically, and they've moved. I feel like they haven't made a complete changeover like the official has with regards to tune, but they have been smoothing their parts out. They have been a little bit.
Yeah, but they've been making nothing but 80s movie bots for the last year and a half, and those are smooth.
They haven't done a Beast Wars figure and stuff like that. I agree, but I feel like. And then with going back to Magic Square, I feel like also I think with the Legends, it's easier to do it to where they can fulfill the cast of the 84, 85 characters.
It's costing them fucking nothing. It
doesn't cost them much.
Yeah, so because they don't need to have that licensing. They don't need the license.
Yeah. No licensing, the strip.
Yeah, but that's the same. That's the same argument for any third-party company. The licensing.
Well, that's why they're all over the place. They're this one, that one, this one, because they don't have to worry about that shit. Their dick swinging in the wind.
So the release schedule,
ding ding dong.
The release schedule, I heard that got brought up at some point by Brian, I believe. Mm-hmm. There, if you look, when did they start release? When was their first release? The Magic Square. It was what last fall.
It was like September. I would say September.
They're drinking from a fire hose with those things. Right?
Exactly.
Like most third-party companies, one release has to pay for another.
And then their prime came out of nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least for me. I didn't really keep too close of an eye on it. And then here's this prime that looks better than anything that I've ever seen.
It came out of the MP44 review.
Well, we can't be naive to. We already all have said it. There's definitely somebody that's been in the game already. They're just changing the name.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, exactly. We're all gonna be like, "Oh shit, that's who it is."
Oh, that's
no wonder.
Yeah. Keith sucks.
Yeah.
Well, we all think, what is it? Unique Toys that everybody's thinking it's what that's who. Like,
the one thing I could say is definitely who's been really consecutive is MMC releasing shit all the way through there. Pretty much. I'm sorry, Lenny. I'm sorry. I do own some MMC products, but
I love that.
You know, they blew their load with the fucking Predaking, and everybody thought it was the best thing in the fucking world. But
like MMC is a perfect example because they started with like your IDW Transformers, and they're making the chugs.
That was a lane they should have stayed in.
And they then all of a sudden they see this masterpiece, and they put their foot into the pool and said, "Hey, we did the Sphinx, and Mirage was beautiful."
Sphinx was the biggest dick tease in the fucking world.
Yeah, like, oh my god,
happened.
Gorgeous, man.
Another fucking guy that's gonna fucking rock out some of these cars, and like,
and then you get the next release, and it's shit. It's garbage, and the next one is garbage, and the next one is garbage.
Yeah, it hasn't been consistent.
It's Sphinx.
And that's what I think. I feel with the too many chefs in the kitchen, you're gonna get a fucking burnt cookie, and we're gonna fall into that trap and take that cookie and bite into it, and you're like, what the fuck?
They threw out Sphinx and they're like, all right, we're going to reel these motherfuckers in. Bam. Until the jump wears off.
See, but a good thing is that this Magic Square.
No, wait. Just pause for a second, though. Mm-hmm. The thing is I'm sorry, Jose, but you're criticizing a brand for kind of jumping in, and doing something different. If that's the same company that gave everybody Rumble, Frenzy, and Ravage that they fucking love as full size like cassettes.
Yeah, they're great.
Good point.
Well, like you drop them like a little bit less, and you have perfect fucking figures.
Yeah, going back to Gary's comment. So, do you really want companies to stop and in putting those examples or doing something a little different? Because sometimes they hit a home run and sometimes they don't. But if they don't choose to do that, then all of a sudden you don't get those home runs.
Yeah, and it also goes back to JD's point. Like, okay, the Rumble and Frenzy, the Ravage, good pieces, but nobody wanted those big ass fucking birds for the cassettes.
Yeah, big birds.
It's not fitting. It's not fitting in with that masterpiece aesthetic because the birds are bigger than what they should be as far as scale. So that's a hit or miss as far as Ocular Max. It's not consistency in what JD's definition is as far as what these companies are doing.
You drop Rumble and Frenzy down like 2 inches or something like that, just downscale a little bit. It's perfect. Yeah, they're good now, but they're just a little bit too. The Jaguar, just a little bit less. It's fucking money. It's fucking money. Laserbeak and Buzzsaw, I think, need to stay the same size that they are of the masterpiece because on Megatron's arm, that's perfect.
I think what fucked them up there is that they were trying to keep that scale consistent with the actual cassette tape.
Well, that was on both sides. It was on both sides.
Yeah,
on both sides. So, yeah.
So JD,
I understand what I really encourage Magic Square to do it. Like I think, and then it's going to be up to us consumers on whether we want to switch over and buy them and have a consistent look of our G1 8485 Transformers, and you can go ahead and make that decision if they do go out and venture that way. And I hope they stick to it. If they do stick to it and use this Legends lines as an example to feed them into a masterpiece wave, and I'm sure it's going to be a slower schedule for them. Like it's not going to be as fast as what they do when they're pushing out these Legends. But I encourage them to do it because, then maybe some other companies will be like, you know what, we're sticking to our game and we're going to do what we want to do. And we're going to be putting out all the figures, all the characters that everybody's looking for and give us options in the future.
Well, I'll tell you that Magic Square, I kind of agree with you, Dom. But if if they maintain this look, this quality, a couple fit and finish things here and there,
with that price,
but the price point, it's going to bring people in.
Oh yeah,
$9.
So
Like if those cars go like for like what $50, if they make cars like that in that quality,
that look, that tune, and that same tune, quality and that same aesthetic. Here you go.
$50.
Here comes the fucking fishing pole.
Yeah, and look at that. Like, and just by your own admissions, again, we were talking about, are we all ready to go all back in on the characters we already bought?
Well, look at Bad Cube.
We are.
Bad Cube threw the fucking Lambo brothers at us.
Yeah,
and a lot of us spit them back.
Yep,
a lot of us said no, they're not good enough. It's not good enough for the price point. It's not good enough aesthetic wise. It's not good enough for me to swap out my masterpiece.
But to your point, people gave that company, right, which is questionable and doesn't have as many fans as no pun intended as other ones. But people gave them a chance because of the way they looked, right, to try and figure out what that looked like.
But you got to also, if Magic Square sticks to the price, Brian, like I like what you said. Mm-hmm. It's doing something different than anybody else is doing, because remember, when a new figure comes out, like those Bad Cubes, Sideswipe and Red Alert, they were more.
Yeah, they were way overpriced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like,
I paid $50 and I feel like I got ripped off.
If they're underpriced of what we paid for our masterpiece back 5 years ago, then you're like, wait, I'd be willing to change out if it's only $50. You know, I think you're going to get a lot more people moving and saying, you know what, if it's $50 to me, I think that's worth the cost. And I think they're smart doing that, because that's the decisions that consumers are going to be making when they put out the next figure and it's $120. Am I going to upgrade my figure that I paid $80 for another figure that's $120 and make that change? Is it worth for me to make that change? And Magic Square is like, you know what, we're not going to even have that decision for you. We're going to just price it lower, and it's going to make an easy decision for yourself.
What fucked up this game, and I'm saying the pricing game, I'm sorry, I tried to get, I didn't mean to cut you off at all. I just wanted to get out there before I forgot. Is this whole thing with the KO sensation? Masterpiece is $109. I'll wait for the KO. It's $50. I'll wait for the KO. It's $40. I'll wait for the KO. It's $60. Now look how Magic Square is coming in at that price point as if it was a KO, and giving us,
because it doesn't cost that much for them to make this stuff.
Yeah, well, of course not. I'm not, but I'm just saying, think of your basic collector nowadays, or like first thing they say is, I'll wait for the KO because it's $50.
Terrible.
So anything between $40 and $70 KO wise, that's the comfort zone. So maybe you could think that's where they're pricing their figures at, because that's the comfort zone. You get what I'm saying? It's like all of a sudden now everybody's all ready for $109.99, $119, $129, $139. You got this whole brash fucking, we know the KO is going to come out, so I'll pay $50. And they say, all right, these guys are comfortable paying that price, so maybe we need to match that price point to get these other collectors, the cheap collectors, and then grab us with the aesthetic and the product that they're putting out.
And Keith did that with X Transbot with the first one. That when the crack up.
I think you might have the companies that go that route. But what do you think about like Sakara? Because obviously, $450.
No. Sakara is the Toyota. I got a name. You're going to pay for the name.
Yeah, third-party companies are trying to survive, so they're going to do and adapt. And if they need to lose $10 off the fucking bottom line on each figure, they'll lose $10 on the bottom line just to get their shit out there for people to buy it.
Yeah.
Officially, you're buying the name. They got their name. That's what you're buying. You got the official. They're going to mark their prices where they want to mark them, because you're buying the official.
It's official. They're going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of that,
it's like the same with fans toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's getting
this shit is not fucking worth it.
But
the money we're forking out for this shit is not worth it.
It's the company like Magic Squares that puts everybody else in check.
Yeah,
but they're not like, this was still just about $100.
Yeah, let's
150 for Hydra.
Like what I say is, that's an old release. That's an old design. We got a figure that's supposed to come out 2.5 years ago. So it has old design with old engineering, and now it's coming out now. Why? Because they heard about Takara. This is my opinion. They heard Takara was coming out, so they put the brakes on it. They said, let's see what happens. Takara came out. People went nuts for it. And then they said, wait a minute. This thing is pretty shitty. And all of a sudden, an $80 masterpiece is selling for $40. So then they're like, all right, now we're going to come in with our and it's the same shit. It's pretty much the same engineering. It's kind of on the same level. It's kind of on that old school shit, but people are going to buy it anyway because it's something new. It's fans toys. You got a name you could trust. It's all about the name. So everybody jumped on the $89.99, and you hold it in your hand. You're like, yeah, the aesthetics there. It looks pretty cool. It's kind of cartoony, but then you turn it to the side. You see that hole in the back. You know, there's no rack. You got this, you got that, and you're like, but it looks okay. It looks better, but it looks better than the Takara. That's the main thing. But it looks better than the Takara because there's only two options.
So, Dust, I think there's another point to that release, though. It's not just, you know, and I totally agree about, you know, old design and what it looks like. And
it's totally
but they released that after Hydra.
You think they made that yesterday compared to Coot?
See, here's the thing.
There's no way.
Look how well received. Look how well received their Quietus was by just about everybody. Look how well received that Dracula was, even if you're not really, you know, into that series of figures, right? So you've got like a winner and then another winner, and then you can kind of get away with stuff that's just not up to the same piece, you know. It's there's a strategy behind those releases as well, I think, in that capacity.
I just wanted to make another point to JD's point too, when he was talking about you know, it's official, people will buy it. And also, JD, I think you said, yeah, it's a car. It looks like they just don't know what they're doing, right? Based on the decisions they're making. And I just wanted to reiterate, you know, when they started going Toon Look, they didn't go and remake their old figures. They just put a new paint job on them, with the old engineering. And I think that's a telling sign to that company. It's like, right, they just don't know what they're doing. They're just fucking putting shit out.
We'll take the chrome or silver and make it white.
Yeah.
You know,
and a bunch of people bought it and they made a bunch of money off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I hope they didn't, though. Do you think they did, or we don't?
None of these fucking companies care about the fucking collector. They just
they don't.
They want that dollar, man.
They don't.
They hit the message boards. They listen to the podcast. They see what's going on in the fandom, and they're like, all right, this is where they're going towards. We're going there too. Believe me, they are. They know. They listen. They're there.
The individual designer.
The companies don't, but I think the designers do.
Yes, the designer does, guys. But when they go into that room and you got the CEO,
I'm not saying the car. I'm talking like DX9 guys and like little guys. Keith is in there, man. Keith is in the fandom. He's there, man. He's listening, bro. He's listening.
I bet you there was in the boardroom when the car was there. The CEO was like, "Can we just go back and repaint the other ones like Toon colors and send them out?" I bet you they'll buy that.
We still got the mold.
Yeah, we still got the molds. Can we make money? And that's how it happens.
Yep.
But I feel with all this, you know, the opportunities that we have with regards, you as a buyer really need to stick to your guns and kind of, you know, pick what you feel you're comfortable in and basically what you want your collection to look like. It's been hard. It's definitely been hard because when you're in the beginning and you're following the train and all of a sudden these changes are happening right in front of your face, it's hard to, like, you know, say that you're sticking to your plan because it's like every company's pushing something different out, and unfortunately there's no one company saying, you know what, we're going to invest in the entire cast and we're going to put all the money out, we're going to put all 16 characters out there for you, and this is what they're going to look like, and this is the scheduled dates for every one of them. You know,
it's going to take us 3.5-4 years to do this, but they're scared because in 2 years the whole market could change.
It could change. It'll go in a different direction. And that was, like, Dom, you just touched on it, and that was going to be one of the points. Like, what choices do we have as consumers, you know, when companies aren't showing us that consistency, you know, like JD brought up, you know, and I don't think we're ever going to get it. So what are the choices? Either we continue, right, to buy the product, or we don't, right? It's
look at that.
Or you buy something different.
Or you really stick like Brian, like you really stick to your what you want and what look you're looking for, and when you see that look, you say that's what I want, and buy it. Yeah. But that takes patience, and that takes, you know, you don't get caught in the soup and buy from one particular vendor, or, you know, oh, this looks good, let me buy it. Like, you know, the combiners, like I made a pact to myself that I'm not going to buy combiners. I'm waiting until I see the end. And if the end combiners looks good, I'm doing it, because I fell into that trap with Hercules. So many combiner wars were going on between those companies, and it's hard to just pick one when you're getting pieces at a time, and you can get trapped. And then all of a sudden you have you have a combiner that you don't want because it doesn't give you the aesthetic that you're looking for
and
at the end of the game.
And I'll tell you another thing that kind of sucks about this, which really kind of, you know, puts a little like stake in your heart when you're doing this stuff, is they're toys and you like playing with toys. So
yes,
it's like you're buying stuff and you want it all to look good together, but then you buy something and you want to play with it and you're like, it fucking the play aspect of it sucks. And it's like, that also hurts. And then it just kind of drives the hate to everything else you're looking at too. He's like, you know what? A lot of this is starting to piss me off all of a sudden.
And
like
then,
when I had that hot rod last night, I had that hot rod last night. I was like, it came out of the box unbuckled. I'm trying to get it together. And I'm like, it looks good, but this is fucking pissing me off. I fucking hate this thing.
Yeah.
And as soon as I put it over there on the shelf and took my hands off it, I immediately felt 100 times better. I just once I pick it up, I'm gonna get angry again. So I'm just gonna fucking leave them over there.
Talked about like someone like me. Like I was crying Toon Tickles for a while. Toon Tickles. Now I'm getting Toon Tickles, but I got a collection that's a quarter Toon Tickles, 3/4 not Toon Tickles. Yeah. So when I look at my shelves, as much as I love it and I try to make it work as best as I can, there's some things where I feel uneven and unbalanced about myself. So I'm thinking like, you know, it's exactly like saying like how JD feels, but it's not to the point where like, man, I just want to start over. I don't want to do this anymore. Whatever. You know what I mean? I'm in it. I'm going to finish it. And
I'm not saying I'm starting over. I'm, you know, there's plenty of good releases. There's stuff that I would keep, but I would love my display room to just everything to be the same.
Uniform. Look uniform. And this is where I get where people are getting angry or getting nerd raged or frustrated about not having, you know, that same aesthetic across their shelves. And I do get it, and because there's an aesthetic out there that I would prefer, and it's new to the game, and I don't know if it's going to stick around long. So I'm going in all in for that look when there's other options also out there for me to keep going with the mashed, you know, aesthetic. You know what I mean? So I could easily go that route, but I'm going this route because this is what I want, hoping that we could do that round robin full circle and come back.
I got a question for you guys. I love third party. You know, just love it, and I'll keep buying third party. But do you feel JD? I'm gonna ask you this question first. Do you feel that the third party market probably didn't help you getting that consistency in a line, because it's just not one company pushing out Transformer Masterpiece toys? It's multiple companies. Like, you know, granted, third parties giving us great things.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they've given us a lot of various things.
Yeah.
And have you feel like, you know, because like, you know, for He-Man, it was Mattel and, you know, Matty Collector, and they were pushing out and they were just doing it. And if you wanted He-Man, that's where you go. No, and nowhere else, and that's it. And there was consistency, and it all looked the same, and there was no question about when you looked at your He-Man display, that's my He-Man, and nothing looks different.
Yeah, you're gonna have to reconcile that fact that you have to be okay with just having way less characters if you were just gonna go with buying official.
But even with that stuff, that shit fucking changes too. They went from one aesthetic to making Filmation.
Exactly.
That all changed.
You can't fucking win no matter what you do.
But with that He-Man line, didn't they wait till they were all done before they made that change?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
they did. There's some variance there, but Jose, your point is what I agree with, which is, I think maybe that changes how much you need to collect of it, or how many characters you need to have, and you know, maybe having fewer people, but ones that really fit together makes you happier than having all of it again, right?
Yeah.
Is this something also like you remember about maybe a year and a half ago? The companies were all copying each other. They were all copying the releases. You had one guy that was four companies come out with the same release at the same time. But the good thing was about it, you had a tune, you had a mashup. You had something that was totally fucked up, and you had what the fuck's going on there. So you had your options. You know what I mean? Now it seems like everybody's going more of a tune route, but not hitting that straight target. But back in the day, you had more options where for collectors that wanted that. Now it's not going that way. You get what I'm saying? You remember, like back in the day, like, you know, we were all mad because they're doing the same character.
Right.
You guys mind if like everybody started doing the same characters again, but everybody had their own style of it, so everybody was happy. I mean, that's a perfect world, you know. But we had that perfect world prior. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Like a year or so ago, before everybody went straight tuned fucking tickles. You know what I mean? You still had those
your springers were coming out all at once. And,
yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Trailbreaker, Jazz.
Yep, you had your
I tell you, man,
you had your different aesthetics.
That Inferno, dude, that thing toyed with my emotions.
Yeah, the Make Toys, and then you had the.
I remember Brian was sticking to his guns on the MMC one.
Yeah, I mean, I love
that.
Backdraft. Listen to Backdraft. But I tell you, that Inferno, when I got it, I was like, this is one of the most amazing masterpiece scale Transformers I've ever had, and it doesn't fit, you know. And and then I end up selling NJCC. I was just like, it pains me to sell this thing because it's such a great toy. I was so mad. I was so mad at Takara that they made such a great toy that didn't fit my collection.
Are you still feeling like that now, Brian? Though, because now has more releases have given you that Toon aesthetic. Like, are you starting to warm up to that?
Well, I mean, the only thing that's really on my shelf that fits that really is Ironhide and Ratchet, which is questionable a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of the in between.
And that Sunstreaker is tuned. It's really tuned, but it's so greebly that it's not tuned, you know.
Yeah.
And like I didn't go with Toro.
Oh, was
and
that you got there?
No, he said
that Omnigonics just looked like trash next to the Sunstreaker, which is why I switched. But and then this MP44, I collect primes. That's the only reason why I'm getting this thing.
Yeah. But like I think with the MP44 too, you're gonna get that same look that the Sunstreaker gives you, though, Brian, because of all the kibbliness and everything.
We'll wait and see. Megatron, I never took it out of the box when I put my shelves up. My Megatron on my shelf right now is Combiner Wars Megatron with 2 add-on kits on him. He's silver. He's a tank. I mean, he looks mature. He's scaled.
Combiner Wars money.
Dude,
that Combiner Wars Megatron still looks good with all the Combiner Wars jets in front of that behind him.
I still have mine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, but is it masterpiece?
Dude, Jose, it scales. It's painted silver. It's got all the articulation that a masterpiece figure has.
But it doesn't look.
As long as he's happy, dude.
It looks good. It looks good in my shelf cannon. Fuck the shelf.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you? Who am I?
And that's what it ultimately comes down to. Everybody's gonna have a different opinion.
Yeah, we can razz each other. We can fuck.
Yeah.
And say, yo, fuck you, that piece of shit. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you got your collection and you're fucking happy.
Yeah. Differing opinions in the chat too. You know, Mervin, threw it in there. Like he says he's kind of like in that restart phase because he's selling his collection from a few years ago because he just wants to go with whatever he feels like is just the best representation of the character. And that's going to be subjective for anybody. Yes. Everybody. It's going to be different for all of us. So,
everybody's eyes and memories are different, man.
Yep, exactly. Josh is bringing it up that he prefers the old style masterpiece compared to these more tuned aesthetic ones. And he's fairly recently getting into the masterpiece game, so you would think he would probably go with the new aesthetic that they're going with, but he likes a more modern representation of those characters.
So with that being said, Jose, as we as consumers have such a diversity of likes and preferences that we like in Transformers, I feel that's why companies are able, there's no one set way, so they're just so free to do whatever they want to do,
and nobody's complete anything either.
And exactly, JD. So it's it's unfortunate, but that's the community. That's what Transformers is. It's never got it right from the beginning. The toys never looked like the cartoons in the beginning. There was so much freedom to fuck with it, and they did it, and they fucked with it. They changed Transformers so many times over history. They even made them fucking goddamn apes and Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's what Transformers is. And
man, they
embrace it.
They bred this vitriolic fucking fandom.
Imagine a masterpiece scaled figure that was exactly like the G1 toy.
Wait, Jan, get on that, man.
Just big size, right?
I bet add a little bit more.
First, just said it here. I bet you that shit's what's coming next.
No, who's making
oversized G1?
I mean, Takara did the toy version of MP56.
Yeah, and who's making the giant
dick and?
I'm just talking like how bad some of the molds.
Oh yeah.
Either way, that's
supersize.
Yeah, who's making those like supersized, like old school vintage Star Wars figures? Yeah, you've seen those, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Gentle Giant.
Gentle Giant. Yeah.
I think we got something here, guys.
Get on it,
good
Keith.
discussion, man. Good discussion. And again, because it's so subjective, I don't think anybody's ever going to be really happy.
Go another hour on this.
Hey,
Honestly.
Jose.
Yeah, honestly.
Before we close, I need a little help. So, the Magic Square Optimus Prime, he has not made it up to my masterpiece shelf yet. What do you guys consider that tuned or mature? I can't decide.
What, Magic Square?
Yeah.
He's tuned, dude.
That's looking tuned. It's leaning towards the tune side. I'd say.
Take away the transparent fucking windows like you did.
Yeah, it's tuned, Brian. You put cardboard blue paper.
No,
The thing is, like,
that's the first thing I do, man.
They have some different shading of colors on some of the legs, on the leg parts. They got the translucent in the crotch parts.
That's another thing that
they got chrome. They got chrome on the grill.
And they didn't color the hips and legs white.
You're absolutely right. If they were going to go all straight out, all tune aesthetic, they shouldn't have did the transparent in the crotch. They shouldn't have did the clear windows, and they should not have done the chrome.
And I think that,
in my opinion,
that Transform Elements trying to emulate more than MP44 than the Magic Square did. But I tell you, this Magic Square to me is almost like a true MP10 upgrade because the transformation is relatively similar. The alt mode looks similar. They just changed the look of him. I don't know. I can't decide. I mean, I have an out because I collect primes, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna get them all.
Transform Element one?
He is.
On Black Friday, I will. Yeah.
Did you see that fucking, what was the transformation? What prime did you have that was halfway out that you couldn't get back in?
Oh, the G Creations.
I think
IDW.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, Transform Element G Creations. With that whole big fucking spring thing with the fucking levers and shit on the chest and shit, man.
But I tell you what, if Magic Square puts out one like this with a candy red coating on the chest part and the arms and stuff, like I think that would be fine with that in my MP shelf. That's the only thing.
Instead of the flat look, you're gonna give a little shiny.
Instead of flat, have it be shiny is all. That would be the only thing that would make it really fit in, I think, with what I've got.
I'm gonna wedge this in there, but like I was talking to someone that's a seller. I'm not gonna put him out there, but he has flat rate shipping, and he was telling me about DX9 and Unique Toys. It's the same company. It's the same family. The two brothers, one brother likes things one way, the other brother likes things the other way. They used to argue when it was the one company. So if the father said, split up, you do what you want, you do what you want. And that's how we got exciting Unique Toys.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's rivaling factions in a family of someone wants one way, someone wants the other way. How are you going to fix that? Two companies. So, but it is the same house to say,
Yeah. And I'm sure this is a discussion that we'll keep revisiting down the line as more stuff comes out, as things change. Like it's perpetual, and we've discussed it before. Like it just depends how long we decide we're going to stay in this game, and how far we decide we're going to go with our collections. How happy we're just going to be with the stuff.
We see people dip out. Look at Chris. Look at fucking Tyler. You know, people just. I'm done. I'm not fucking with this no more. I'm out. You see, look at the look in the groups, Facebook groups. Yeah, things are happening in my family. I'm not doing this. I'm out of the game. The infamous. I'm out of the game.
Hey, Dom. Dom. I just want to warn you. So you're about to start putting stuff on shelves. Now you're doing things a little bit differently than the rest of us do, but. Look, man, if you start putting a masterpiece collection together on a shelf, make sure you have a prescription of Xanax or a large bottle of liquor, because you're going to start having some feelings once you start putting this stuff up.
That's the funny thing, too, Brian. You bring that up because it's like once you get to that end game, sometimes it gets discouraging. And you're like, do I really want to get there? do I really want to get there? Or should I just enjoy the collecting aspect of it?
I can see Dom setting it up like it's an aisle in a store.
Yeah, like
I think
that's like the best way to do it.
He got price tags on it. Everything's laid out like a store. He's got
because you can walk into that room and think you're buying a toy.
The Dom rollback. Welcome to Dom Mart.
His detoffs are full of the price guns throughout the years.
That's it. But like I think I've been I've been collecting for a long time, so like believe me, there's been frustrations when I have been collecting and what toys I've been picking up, when the aesthetics changed and everything like that. But I kind of basically committed to myself to say, you know what, I'm just going to buy what I'm going to buy. Let the pieces fall where they may, and God, if the day comes when I display them and I just want to get rid of this one because the fact that it's just not in my collection, I'm going to I'll do it. And then, just live with what I have. And I'm not going to kill myself over it. So,
yeah. This was a question I meant to bring up earlier, but I think there's also a real possibility that we're at the very edge as far as like our generation and the things that these companies are going to be putting out for us, because we're getting older. G1 is sort of we're getting to that point where it's like, it's not going to be as relevant as maybe Beast Wars as we're getting to now 20 years later, and RID, and then eventually these Bay films. So I eventually see more of an emphasis being put on that stuff and not so much the stuff that we all happen to be into. So that's another question.
That's also it's like the third party game is no longer new.
Yeah.
We've seen behind the curtain. The honeymoon's over now.
Well,
when we first were collecting, it was like, oh, I got to get this. We're a little bit wiser.
I think it's that, but I still think it comes back to where your interests can vary. If you go back into, the early 2000s and you were getting reissues of Generation 1 characters, right? Either from Takara or at Toys R Us. That was exciting for a lot of people because you got a fresh new toy, right? That represented something from the 80s.
Good quality.
If that was you, right?
Series was a really good quality.
Yeah. And, but you got to have it, right? So if someone wanted, that G1 Optimus Prime, they could have got it from Toys R Us in 2002 and 2003, right? And I feel like once you've had it, like it's almost a bit of that been there, done that feeling. So the idea of getting these more upscale masterpiece figures was new, 3 or 4 years ago, but it's not as new anymore. So I think people look for other things, regardless of what maybe.
Fatigue definitely sets in, Gary. Fatigue definitely sets in.
I don't know if that's the right word, Dom, because I think fatigue means that
all that.
I'm not interested at all. Where maybe someone has an interest in something different. Dusty just mentioned, hey, Chris got out, Tyler got out. Well, they got out of that genre, but they're spending the money on other places and they're collecting other things, and they could easily change their thoughts, how they feel about that, So it's
like cheating with Mythic Legions,
Exactly.
It's right with that Mythic Legions on Tinder, and the next thing you know, it's all gone. Wars are over, and I got orcs and fucking epops and eeps. Oops. And fucking
even with that though, Dust, like you're with the Mythic Legions, like I was on a high with that a few weeks ago. Like nothing else mattered. And that high's gone now. Solo con hits, and I'll get a new, bunch of new figs to mess with. But right now, it's something else. I'm,
and the funny thing is,
I'm very envious of collectors like that can go from line to line and have so much interest in other things. I'm very bland with what I do, but. So you guys enjoy that time, man.
But like Dave, I have to agree with you there, because and also like where the market's going with Mythic Legions is driving my kind of like I'm not even looking for Mythic Legions anymore on eBay because the prices are ridiculous. Like it's just I'm not even going to deal with that.
And I bet you 4 years from now they'll be fucking back to what they are.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
Power of the Force, 99 cents.
But where you live? Will you live for 4 years from now?
You know what? I will say there's some solace in this Mythic Legion stuff we've been starting on, because as JD has eloquently put it, there everything looks like it belongs. So
yes.
But that's easier when you don't have a fucking shitload of characters like Transformers. You got a fucking 1,000 characters, so that's the difference there. Also,
they come out with waves of 40 figures at a pop. This fucking
they all look the same, but they all look the same. Very similar looking like shit. You know, you can mix and match pieces to make them different characters, but it's all basically fucking the same. What 5, 6, 7, 8 molds maybe? You're right. Being mixed and matched. So you know they're not doing anything different than fucking Hasbro or these other companies do when releasing things at like a retail level.
Just going back to
it better.
Yeah, just going back to JD's question that he did. I hope Magic Square takes the challenge. I hope they keep the price point as attractive as it is for the quality that they're putting out. I hope they also keep an aggressive. If they do move to masterpiece figures like that Optimus Prime, I hope they have an aggressive schedule and punch out toys as aggressively as they did in Legends or they are doing in Legends. So I think that's the only way they're going to win. If they get on that boat and do what everybody else has been doing and marking up their prices and getting into that game, I think that it's going to be the death of...
I want a company like this to step in, and a big fuck you to all the other companies that pick and choose what you're getting. Release, this release is good, this release is fucking turd.
And if it is unique, if Magic Square is unique toys, then they have the ability. I think that's a smart thing that they're doing, because they have the unique toys is putting out very high end type figures, and they started very low. Like, remember, they used to start with like add-ons.
What was it? They did the Predacon. They were the warrior, like whatever fucking his name. Warlord. Yeah, really.
And they build shit. Now that they're now into those other, those really nice, high-end toys, third-party toys that they're putting out.
Well, and now they matured like all other companies.
If they're using another business plan and putting it under a new company header and taking this platform and using the some margins from another company to rate this product that they're doing under Magic Square, I think it's a smart move. I think it's a real smart move. So
this is when the father stepped in and he said, "No, we go masterpiece like this." All right, don't come in.
And they have their own factory. You know what I mean?
Yep. And look, Tom, I'm looking up unique toys. A list of I don't see anything good on this list, man.
But just having the box in hand,
I agree with you.
Does not remind me of any DX9 or unique toy product. The box is a cheap piece of shit. You know what I mean? The box is like really bad. No.
Prime.
The Prime.
A little different.
Prime. Yeah, the box is.
See, like the Legends ones, they're thick. Like
that's good stuff right there.
Oh yeah, this Magic Square Prime box.
But that box kind of like It don't usually like when you get something from a new company that's from another company. There's always that fingerprint from that other company somewhere in there. As a collector, being in this game for so long, you'd be like, come on, man, I know who you are. I know who the hell is.
Don't ask for that better box. You can ask for a markup on the price too. So that fucking box like that cheap. Give me that cheap ass price.
I'm all right with what they're doing.
Give me that full-time Jack move.
All right, well, good stuff, guys. Good discussion. Kept us going most of the night. I think we could wrap up with the question game. I just not sure who I'm going to put on the spot tonight. Hold on. Let me just do a quick little eeny, meeny, meeny. You know what? We have a guest. I think I'm going to put him on the spot. Dust.
Yo.
Got a question for the chat squad tonight?
Huh?
Question for the chat squad, brother.
You don't watch the show anymore?
Obviously, he doesn't watch this on
Tuesday. Question for the chat squad. We got my question for the chat squad is, how come nobody's hitting that like button? Chat squad,
What's up, chat squad? All right, well, Dust, this is a question game that we throw out to the chat, have a little bit of fun with them, get them a little bit more interactive. So we throw out a question to the chat. Whoever's the first one to answer correctly gets to choose from Brank's little Excel worksheet right there.
Oh, hold on, I gotta highlight that.
And you know what? If depending on the number they pick,
I'll say there's numbers here.
There's numbers 1 to 30. Depending on what number they pick, they could either possibly win a prize or another option. whatever we uncover there. So
yeah, 8 out of 10 times is Josh, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right. This is where we need to have a discussion here. You know, like when we're doing giveaways on ETR, and you guys started your show, like nobody from the Realm Network could collect. Well, now we have MPSP Theater on Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be the same thing. Anybody that's from Realm, honestly, guys, because you know what? I know you guys
are off the table.
We can't do that.
No. Listen to me. I remember a lot of times, like Energon Addict answered one time, they're like, "Yeah, man, you're on the network. We can't give it to you because people are going to think we're favoring you." So I think now that MPSP Theaters is on the network.
Look, the Godfather comes on and says,
I'm just, you know what? I'm just saying this was a topic I was gonna bring up in the chat and talk with everybody.
With so many shows now, though, like fucking half the chat's on a fucking podcast. Like, come on, like.
But how the hell are we gonna be able to bring new people in if like people that are in the squads are winning and they were like, oh yeah, they just doing that in between each other. They're not gonna ship it to that guy. You know what I mean?
No, listen, Jim Hogg, he's won a couple of times there. He's got some cupcakes from me. He's not a part of like any of these shows, so that just shows you it's on the up and up.
Yeah, definitely up and up. But Josh has been winning like a fucking motherfucker, man. When I go through. So like I know you guys were I remember like the frustration from you guys were like, oh, what, even when we did the anniversary show, oh, we can't no, it's just for the regular people, the regular ROC members, the viewers, the staff can't win. So now that I don't know.
Oh, Josh is like, damn.
Come on, guys! You can't argue with me, man. You guys went through it too, so it's growing pains for the new
show. I'm with Dust, dude.
yeah. I want to answer this. I know the answer, and
we're gonna have to reevaluate after the show is over. And rules for this week's show.
Dude, something that I was like, when we were talking to like the business chat, I was like, oh, we got to bring this up. About because you guys are doing the giveaways. I'm like, there's guys that are on Friday night. Like, man, if we're doing some stuff on the network, it just seems like it's just unfair that network people are winning. And I'm not talking about like guests or anything like that. I'm just talking like regular staff members that are on these shows, that are on the ROC network. I'm not talking Cool Table Network. I'm not talking like, other channels that, we all promote, but,
Yeah, you see this dude delaying right now because he don't know what fucking question to ask.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to think right now. Listen, we're having fun. We're just having fun here.
How did we even do the giveaways in the beginning? I forgot how that worked. Did we have people just pick numbers or something? I can't remember how that worked.
How did we do it in the beginning?
It doesn't matter anymore.
Can't even remember.
We evolved just like the fucking the third party world.
Third party companies. That's all it is. Okay, so how's this deal? I asked the chat a question. Whoever gets that right gets
a number
on the board.
Yeah. If they win, if they get a number on the prize, you have to send them a prize.
Oh Jesus!
And if not, it'll be a question for the host.
Bottle opener.
Yeah, it could be
anything, dude.
It could be a rack of ribs.
Send them that fucking Anakin, baby Anakin, fucking Skywalker.
That was a gift. That was a gift.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Okay, Dust, don't worry. They only have it
right now, man.
I'll buy him another one at ZoloCon. Don't worry about it.
There's gonna be like 20.
Get out of them
for that Anakin. Trust me.
Dust, don't worry. It's only a 10% chance of winning.
All right, let me ask something out there a lot of people out there might not know it, but I'm gonna throw out a Dust Mites question out there.
Google.
Not just
Google. Josh is out.
Josh is out. No Google.
All right. This is a Cobra Law Records question, and I'm sure I'm going to think of another one. What was the first song that Nathan Haskell and I ever worked on and released? That's a tough one.
They ain't gonna get this. We're gonna be here all night.
We're gonna be here all night.
Well, you know what?
Girls just want to have fun.
That's why we make it easy.
I'm not giving shit away here for free, man.
Sama 7 said stinky ginger.
No, that wasn't it.
Stinky.
But you know what? I will put that title in consideration.
Was that an old girlfriend?
Is it the name of the song or the name of the album?
Name of the song. The first song that we collabed on. The first song. Not the album. The album's easy enough.
Is it Glitter on My Yeezys?
No, it's close though. Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna fucking have to fucking come up with another.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
You made it too hard. You made it too hard.
Mythic? Is it Mythic, Dust?
It's not Mythic at all. It's not Mythic.
All right.
No, we got a lot of new people in the chat that I've never seen, so I'm gonna have to switch it up. No, it's not on Bandcamp either, Paul Ross.
They're checking your SoundCloud right now. They're checking.
Oh man! Wow. Well, all right. I guess we're here till about midnight, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go cut the lawn.
And that's my job. That's my job.
You're taking my work.
Guys, you're killing me.
Kit and Cabotus.
Is that a song though? Are people actually putting real songs in there?
No, nothing at all. Nobody's here and anything on Overlaw Records.
Jim was
Despacito.
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Sorry, Aaron. That's
is not the case.
All right, maybe I gotta go even deeper.
Yeah, go deeper.
You guys go.
You gotta lighten up, bro. Do obscure, bro.
Just the tip.
We told you in the pre-show. Make it easy for them. Make it easy.
You don't want to go deeper, dude. Man, you know what? I don't want to throw fucking money out the fucking window. I do that every fucking day. Oh Jesus! Make it easy for them. Oh God. Looking around for some fucking
history.
Dustin didn't do his homework.
All right, real quick. All right. You got if people listen to the shows and whatnot, this is something. My favorite purchase of 2018. How about that one? Is that good?
There you go.
My favorite purchase of 2018.
Can I play?
Can I play?
Once again, everybody in the chat. My favorite purchase of 2018.
I know what it is.
Oh, we got an answer in the chat already.
But you can't play. Who got it? Oh wait, spelling. I think spelling counts. That's
no. It's there afterwards.
All right. So who got it on your end? If you see the answer, you got shout it out.
You guys don't have a chat there? What's going on?
I see it, but I don't know your answer.
Oh, Craig said it's a piece of shit remix. What the fuck are you talking about?
You have to reveal the answer because I don't know what your answer is.
Yeah, what's your answer?
The line bot.
If somebody,
all right, you guys know.
All right, yeah,
I guess you guys don't
know what we know, but you have to confirm that to the person that answered in the chat. So who was the first one? Because I see a couple of people.
Too many fucking rules.
I would have been wrong. I thought it was an air fryer.
Yeah. I thought it was the air fryer.
It's a nostalgic lion bot.
Hey, Dust.
Don't you guys listen to the stories?
Right, Jiraiya Sama 7 got it then. Yep. There you go.
Hey, Dust, by chance, what was the song?
He doesn't even
know. No.
No. I had a couple of beers. No. I had it in my fucking head. You guys got me started thinking about Lionbot.
Cabbages and
you get a pass. Chat Squad, you get a pass. The fucking producer himself.
No. I gotta look at the track listing on the album.
Jim in the chat said milk dropped in the hallway.
No, because I used that beat on 3 other albums.
All right.
Sama 7, pick a number, brother.
He picked 22.
All right.
So here we go.
You don't win.
And the answers were 26, 15, and 8.
What's going on? What happened?
That's the pick 3 tomorrow, guys. So
yeah. He picked 22, Dust. So you don't have to send anything.
You don't have to send a prize, but you do have to ask the rest of us a question.
Jesus,
who's your daddy, and what does he do?
Am I giving anything away tonight?
No, nope. We're not giving away nothing.
I came here wanting to give shit away.
Yeah, well, too bad.
Too bad.
You got to keep it for the next
week. Try again next week.
It sounds like Tinder all over again.
Try Friday night.
All right, here's my question. All right, guys.
Oh, he's got a question ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna use one of the bank funds.
Oh, cheater.
All right, would you rather be married to a 10 with a bad personality or a Sea Caucus 6 with an amazing personality?
Sea Caucus 6.
You've ever been to Sea Caucus? You know what a Sea Caucus?
That's missing a couple teeth.
Yeah. Or would you rather be married to a Sea Caucus 6 with an amazing personality?
I'll go first. I'd rather marry a 6 with an amazing personality. Yeah, because a fucking 10 with a bad attitude, that bitch, I can't take that bitch. Like, you know, I'm gonna be fighting with her.
Come on, Dave,
my friends ain't gonna like her. Listen,
I think Dave.
I'm pretty sure she ain't gonna take it up the booty or suck dick because she's too proud. So you know what? Fucking 6 is gonna suck a dick and do whatever the fuck she wants because she knows she's the 6.
She wants to keep you. She want to keep you.
And I agree with Dave because listen, all the money in the world really can't change a personality, but with technology, you can do all kinds of lifts and tucks and modifications and aftermarket mods, and you can make that 6 into a strong 8.5.
He's gonna perfect effect upgraders.
Exactly.
That's great,
dude. It's better and better.
Sea Caucus 6.
Yeah, I think I might be more along the lines of what Dave is thinking because it's true. I mean, think about it. 10 with a bad attitude, you got to deal with the bad attitude. But then you're walking in the street with her, you got to deal with all the dudes hollering at us.
Holla. My dick's bigger than his.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're gonna be thinking to yourself that you got into a fight for some chick with a bad attitude. Like, was it worth it?
Let me tell you one thing right now. Once you Google real quick a Sea Caucus 6. And by the way, the track was Fearsome Axe, baby.
Fearsome Axe.
Jesus Christ. We would have been here all night.
Yeah, I'm going with the 6 and to kind of take Jose's.
That's an Allentown 6, by the way.
Sure. Fair enough.
You got to go by state. If you're in Pennsylvania, that's an Allentown 6.
But yeah, he's saying he'd be fighting some dudes over it, and I'd end up fighting her. And
too much high maintenance.
I
don't need to be punching some bitches in the face.
I'm gonna give him my answer in rhyme. I'll be like, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, you get yourself a big fat wife. This is my personal point of view. Get an ugly bitch to marry you. That's my question. That's my
answer. Yeah, man. You find a fucking fat bitch and make you fucking look.
Hey, I missed the other choice. What was the other choice?
Oh my god!
What do you think? This is a buffet, Brian?
You need to hear the question again, Brian.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Thank you, Dave.
So Dave just wants me to scroll through the fucking chat again.
I got it. I'll do it.
No. Relax. Would you rather be married to a 10 with a bad personality or a Sea Caucus 6 with an amazing personality?
Spell Sea Caucus
or Jersey City 6.
They are. That's a bunch of needles in her arm.
Yep. Sounds a lot, man. I was in the weeds in Sea Caucus. Yeah. Anything away tonight? I might just give away fucking something forever.
I'll go with the Sea Caucus 6.
Oh,
elaborate.
I hate bad attitudes.
You know what also Brian hates? Stopping for cops. He hates that too.
At our point in time in our lives, we're all past those ages that, we don't give up. I mean, it's nice to have a fucking dime piece and it's good to have a trophy, but you got all that bullshit that comes with it. And you got someone she's all right, she's good, blah, blah, blah. And she's got an amazing personality. And she's got fucking fun. Yeah, you know what? It's less fucking work at the end of the day.
I just want to point out that Gary's like,
he's a fucking goblin. I'm not saying, goblin or fucking.
I mean, you said a Secaucus 6, so
like that,
that's
man.
a goblin. That's
like
a goblin.
Yeah, it's not a goblin. It's a chick that you like. Yeah.
Some woman coming out of the swamp.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to point out Gary's like, yeah, I'll go with the 6 because of technology today. Mr. Jim Selfie over here, he's like, yep, we're gonna get her and put her under the knife.
I'm not talking like the Legion of fucking Doom. You know what I mean? She's not coming out of the swamp like the Legion of Doom. She's okay. She's all right. Secaucus isn't that bad. Well, maybe a Bayonne 3.
Oh man, that's where I'm from. Bayonne 3. You don't want that. Don't want that.
Bad news.
Gary's gonna pimp his ride with the girl with the 6.
Look, I'm just saying,
give her a new new paint job.
Give her some new rims.
Little spray tan, a little lift, little.
Is there more questions? What do we do?
Little dental work.
By the way,
did you answer, Dust? You answered? You gave your answer?
Yeah, he did. He said it would be too much work to do it.
Yeah. Dude, and I'm not tooting my own fucking horn. My ex-girlfriend was very good looking. She was a lot younger than me, and everybody looked at me like, how the fuck did that happen? You know what I mean? They're like, what the fuck's going on there? I mean,
Dust is hung like a whoo.
It's not down to my ankles, and my fucking wallet ain't fat. So I don't know, just
tongue game strong.
And the one thing about dating a younger chick is like when they get to the age of like, another 5 years, I don't want to wipe this guy's ass. I'm out. That was a great question, by the way.
Great stuff.
I threw in the Secaucus 6 for just, a little more giggling action.
I think we were pretty unanimous there. Did we all answer that?
Yeah. That's Secaucus, man.
Yeah, shout out to Secaucus.
Shout out to Secaucus.
So you girls that live in Secaucus,
does anybody know where Secaucus is?
Hey, I remember answering a story about some dirty business I did when I urinated on somebody once or something. Mm-hmm. That was a Secaucus.
So you kind of know what the level you're going at.
Exactly.
They're down. Well, awesome, guys. Thank you. I think we're going to wrap on that for tonight. Before we head out, we're going to run it down the line, get some where you at. Brian Brink, I'll start with you, brother.
You can find me, Brian Brink, in the Facebook groups, at Brinkalizer on Instagram, and ZoloCon in Warminster, PA, February 9th.
I'm excited, man. I've never been there.
Yep, less than 2 weeks out. It'll be my first ZoloCon too, so looking forward to it. As long as Dave's still picking me up, I'm not sure if that's still.
Yo, you put me on the spot on the air, bro.
No,
I was getting pick you up.
We'll talk about that. I have to do it to make you commit.
Jose, I think there's trains that take you to Solo.
Hey man, Jose, you get over by me, man. We'll take you the rest of the way. You know that. Man. Out of the Lakeland bus.
You might have to jump on a Secaucus 6 on the back and take.
When I lived in Bayonne and we take the bus to Secaucus to go to the movies, it was the number 5 bus. I do remember that.
All right, Big Dom.
You can find me here Tuesday nights with these guys and Dominic Russell in the groups.
All right, our special guest for the evening, Dust Mites.
Yo, Dust Mites on Instagram, Eddie Dust Mites in the Facebook groups, man. Thank you guys. I had a great time, man.
Yeah, awesome.
Discussions.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, man. Fucking anytime. Just hit me up. Well, hit me up with at least 2 weeks' notice.
Next inventory.
Had a great time, guys, man. Thank you.
Thanks for hanging tonight, bro. All right, Energon Addict.
Yo, find me here Tuesdays with you guys. I'm Energon Addict on Instagram. I do take a picture from time to time, and David Clone in the Facebook groups.
You say that.
Congrats for winning the Realm of Collectors Challenge.
Thank you for throwing the challenge, Jose. Thank you for having that again. It gets everybody's mind going again. At least it got mine, because for 2 weeks I was like, what the fuck is silent?
Yeah. Me and Dave were throwing options at each other that past weekend. Yeah.
I had like an idea too, and I was like, nah, that ain't gonna work. And then like Sunday, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try that, and it worked.
So look at that, man.
An action figure with like a puff cloud out of their ass.
Deadly.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good thing, man. If it makes you think, makes you want to put it out there, that's the point of it. And I'm gonna be hitting you up because since you won, I'm gonna need you to pick a theme for the next one. But we got to keep that on the hush.
Oh my god, this theme's gonna be dirty.
Yep. All right, G Money.
Don't do those to your fingers.
Dave, God doesn't like it when you touch him there.
Wow. I got nothing. No, it's Gary Allen in the Facebook groups. It's good.
All right, JD.
Hooded Warrior. What's going on, man?
Dude, it's cold up here, Dust. It's
You didn't pay the oil bill? What's going on?
He's got 10 inches of snow.
He's trying to be
he's gonna hit a bag or something.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man? Yeah, G Money's new mixtape. He spits hot fire.
Got the earpieces over the hoodie and everything.
I can go fucking another hour, so just keep going.
JD. It's your turn.
My turn.
It's your turn.
Oh. Yeah, you can find me JD Burgess in the Facebook groups, Pigment Surgery on Instagram, Xbox Live, and here every Tuesday with these lovely gentlemen here. And tomorrow night, all new finger banging.
Nice. Gonna get busted.
All new finger banging. Dust, you hosting or am I hosting? Who's hosting?
I don't know.
We'll flip a coin.
I don't know. What are you doing
tomorrow night? We're flipping a coin.
You got plans tomorrow? You let me know.
All right, guys, and that's for myself, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all over social media at HarricanBX. And check out Verbally Challenged with HarricanBX on all audio platforms. This show, Breaking the Mold, is also available on all podcast pushing platforms. So please remember to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, all that good stuff. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel and like this video. I mean, do I even have to say it? I mean, come on, guys, hit that thumbs up. We had a good time. Shout out to everybody in the chat squad that was hanging out with us tonight. Remember to check out Crashbox Customs on social media for all your Mezco and diorama needs. Mention the word realm. When placing an order, and you might get a surprise gift with your purchase. All right, check out RummaCollectors.com. That's the website. Check it out. And shout out to the rest of the shows on the Cool Table Network. We got Into the Realm, Plastic Fanatics, Shattercast Uncut, Toy Detox, Nerd Rage Radio, Beer Bolsters 40K, Stasis Lock, 8 weeks building up to it, Fresh Communication, and Verbally Challenged. You can find all those podcasts on all podcast pushing platforms, and you can find the Cool Table on Facebook. So please remember to like that page. That does it for us for tonight, guys. ROC Hangout will continue next. We're gonna throw the link out.
We're hanging out, baby. We're hanging out. Get in here.
All night, baby. So look for that in the ROC Facebook group, and we'll see you guys next week. All right, peace out.
Night. Bye.
Bye.
Get your mouth too close to that mic, buddy.
I want to go to Secaucus now for some reason. Does anybody else?